I'm on a mission to redesign my workshop layout. I have a long list of things that I want to complete, and I've already made some progress on that with my new dust extraction setup and removing my miter saw, but now it's time to tackle the rest of that list. One thing that has been working really well for me in the workshop are these power tool cubby holes. They store a lot of tools in a small amount of space, and I like that I can just grab them and put them back without opening any doors or anything. So I want to keep these, but I want to combine the large and small units together. Fortunately, back when I made these, I had the foresight to make them the same width. So that means I can stack them one on top of the other. But I'd like to lift these cubbies off the floor and create space for some other power tools that I have dotted around the workshop so that all of my power tools can be stored in one place. So after getting my old miter station demolished, now I have loads of 18mm plywood that I can make use of to make a cabinet. This is just cheap shuttering plywood. It's nothing fancy, but for a workshop project like this, it'll be perfect. Back when I made the miter station, I'd lipped the edge grain with some hardwood, and I decided that I would cut the panels in a way so that I could retain having those exposed. I fitted my 6mm grooving blade on the table saw as I want the cabinet to have sliding doors, something I've only ever done once before, but it works so well that I can see myself doing this again and again in future. The bottom panel has the grooves cut about 6mm deep and the top about 12mm deep. Glue and screws to assemble it, and then a 9mm MDF back panel to strengthen it and keep it all square. And then I add an 18mm centre panel to help support the considerable weight that will be sitting on top of it, and I've set that in a bit from the front so that it doesn't interfere with the sliding doors. And I cut some doors from some 6mm MDF, which I can just push up into the deeper top groove and then down into the bottom groove, and these work great. One of the items on my to-do list is to have more green in the workshop, so I got this masked up, primed and then painted, leaving those hardwood edgings on display. And I can reuse these knobs from the miter station drawer too. Before I can fit the unit where I want it, I need to get this metal cabinet off the wall. It was hung on a French cleat, and here's the moment I realised that I'd need to unload the shelf above it before I could take it down. And it's really heavy, so it took a while to figure out the best way to get it down safely on my own. I made a simple plinth to sit the cabinet on top of, and then I can get everything assembled and secured with screws. So this cabinet is going to store my larger routers and my belt sanders too. This left me with a nice little corner where I can plug in all my chargers for tool batteries, camera batteries and all of that stuff. For the things that can't be mounted on screws like this microphone charger, I add some gaffer tape to the back to protect it and then use hot glue to stick it where I want it. Since I recently managed to get rid of both my Ryobi and Makita chargers, my setup is now pretty minimal, just camera batteries, microphone charger and a couple of Milwaukee chargers for the M18 and M12 batteries. Right, next I'm starting to think about storage, and I've got all of these old coffee jars up here full of Jubilee clips, handles, hinges, metal plates and hardware. Just stuff that I'm constantly grabbing, to be honest, and it's a bit inconvenient to reach up there. I often have to get my step ladder out, so I've treated myself to something that I've wanted for years and years. This is an all-metal Bisley 15 shallow drawer cabinet. These are going to allow me to consolidate all my hardware and consumables in one small space. So I've got these drawers loaded up now. I did geek out on a few of them and I made some little tool holders for my auger bits, for example, just to help protect them. And I'm really impressed with these. I like that you can just pull them out fully and take them over to the workbench. I also like that all of the drawers are exactly the same size. So if you want to reorganize things and swap things around, it's easy to do. The only trouble is I've still got all of these jars, which I'm yet to unload. Then I've got things like sockets, SDS bits, blades, angle grinder discs, pin nails, reciprocating blades, oscillating blades, jigsaw blades, staples, super glues, drill bits and epoxy, and all this stuff I'd quite like to get in these drawers as well. And I'm not a frivolous guy, you probably know that by now if you've been watching my channel for a while, but I like these drawers so much that I'm actually going to buy another set. They are on sale at the moment on a website. I think they're about £120, so I'd
The way I see it, these drawers will last me a lifetime. I really like them and I think they're a good investment.
I ended up filling all of the second drawers too, but I decided not to buy a third set. And I put a piece of melamine on top of these cabinets to protect them before I spill paint or varnish on them, which would be inevitable. It's just held in place with some sticky back tape.
Next up, I need to build some sort of unit to hold my belt and disc sander in this area here, but I want it to be really close to the wall because I don't want it to interfere with the outfeed space from my table saw. And I've got this pipe down here that I'll need to work around.
I can use more salvaged mitre station plywood for this. I cut a couple of panels to fit around the pipe. Added a top and bottom panel to pull the two panels into square. And then more of this 25mm thick melamine, which will make a nice worktop as it's really durable. In order to get my flexible hoses to fit the ports on this machine, I wrapped around some string followed by some gaffer tape to hold it in place, and that's going to create a nice seal, and I can get the hoses secured with some Jubilee clips. And then I made some drawers to fit the carcass, which will hold all my sanding accessories, as part of this workshop reorganisation is all about getting tool accessories to sit with the tools that they go with, everything in its right place. You might be wondering why I left a void underneath, and there is a reason. My mobile camera stand that I use for filming often gets positioned here when I'm filming myself using the table saw, so this allows it to slot right underneath. Using, you guessed it, more mitre station plywood, I built a simple set of shelves which I can use to store all my tape measures and tool batteries. You might be wondering why I have so many tape measures. It's because I tend to leave them all over the place, so it's nice to know that there'll always be a tape measure on this rack whenever I need one. There are a few things in the workshop that I don't really feel deserve to be in here anymore, and this filing cabinet is one of them. I've got things in here like old drawer runners and tools that are in need of restoration. Oh, check out this axe head, by the way. How cool is that? Can't wait to make a handle for that and polish that up. And then things like fabric, leather, foam and upholstery stuff, and more upholstery stuff. And a lot of this stuff doesn't get used frequently, so I think I'm going to get rid of this. And the other thing is this big aluminium ladder, which again doesn't belong in here, so it's getting relegated to the shed. Of course, putting stuff in here does mean that I'll now need to reorganise my shed as well, but that can be a job for another day. Yet more mitre station plywood and some scraps of MDF made up this unit to hold all my table saw jigs, panel sled, crosscut sled, tenon jig and finger joint jig. These were previously hung on the wall, but as soon as I took everything off the wall, I realised that I really liked having a wall here with nothing on it. This also got a melamine top. I was planning to relocate my lathe to this wall over here, and while it fits really nicely, it would come up to just about here. I'm struggling to figure out how I can get it close enough to the wall so it doesn't interfere with my table saw in feature space, and also close enough to this wall so that it doesn't impact my access to my table saw jigs over here. And I've thought about all sorts of solutions, including a flip top style setup, but it would need to be mounted off the wall because if I built any sort of cabinetry or legs coming down, it would get in the way. I also thought about whether I could literally fold it down like this on some hinges, but I think that's going to be too awkward because it is quite a heavy machine. And back when I was looking at buying a lathe, a lot of people told me to not go for a really big one, but I didn't listen to them, and I probably should have, because I've never turned anything 1 meter long or anywhere near that for that matter. I do definitely want to keep a lathe in the workshop because I really enjoy using them, but I'm starting to think this was the wrong choice for me. I'll come back to the lathe later, but the next job was making a clamp rack to hold all my parallel clamps. These don't get used as often as my F clamps, which I want close to my workbench at all times, so I'm going to put these in the corner where the lathe was because they will free up lots of infeed space at the table saw for when I want to make long rip cuts. I've been moving things around a bit off camera, so this rack of wood up here was previously over there, and I had some cabinets here, and I've moved those over there to sit above the planer. They fit really nicely there. And what I want to do over here is build another floor to ceiling cabinet rack type thing, similar to this one actually, but I want this one to hold my compressor at the bottom, And that's because I want my compressor to be close to the door because we use it a lot for pumping up our tyres, so it's nice just to be able to wheel it out. Then I want my metal cabinet full of wood finishes to sit above that, and that'll be nice because it means I don't have to crawl on the floor every time I'm looking for a finish. And then these cubby holes up here, which I've currently got scraps of MDF and plywood in, I've got more of these in the shed, and I'm thinking of putting another 3, possibly 4, right up to the ceiling to hold all of my scrap wood, because basically I've decided that I am going to be parting with this big lathe. I want to get a smaller one to fit there, and obviously this unit is really large as well, so I want to get rid of that to free up some more floor space. So I made this thing, which I'm going to call my air compressor garage, originally designed so that the bottom of the metal cabinet fitted right over the top, as you can see here, but I completely messed up the sizing of this thing. The compressor didn't quite fit, so you'll see I had to modify it quite a bit, and now the metal cabinet is sitting on top of it instead, with a piece of MDF in between. And now it fits, and I drilled some large ventilation holes in line with where the motor is, which will hopefully mean it cannot overheat. Then I can stack up my metal wood storage cubby things. These just get bolted together. This rack was actually here in the garage when we first moved into the property, so it doesn't actually belong to me. Well, I guess it kind of does now. Everything got a fresh coat of paint. I went for a nice blue colour this time. No, not really. And then I can load it all up. Now I just need to find a home for my bench belt grinder thing, and I want that to be close to my lathe, or where the lathe will eventually end up being, and my pillar drill, which to be honest I never seem to use, but I've got it so I may as well make a space for it. So I've made another box. I've lost count of how many boxes I've made on this project now, and this whole workshop reorganisation thing is really starting to get a bit boring, but I'll be glad when it's done. I could salvage the casters from the old wood storage unit and reuse those on the new unit, which I made out of some offcuts of MDF. This also got a melamine top. These melamine tops I actually pulled out of the skip from my old workplace. They were tops for office style timber cabinets, and I had a big pile of these in the shed, which are coming in very useful. And yet more drawers to go in, and at the end of this video I'll reveal just how many drawers I have in the workshop now. You might be surprised.
Onto wall storage next, and I have a couple of old drumsticks here, and I'm going to use these to make a simple rack for my hammers and mallets. I did most of the reorganising of the wall space off camera as it wasn't particularly interesting, but I'll show you how it looks at the end. But yeah, a couple of scraps of 18mm MR MDF, painted green of course, and then I'm adding the drumsticks as the dowels. And if my hammer and mallet collection ever expands, I have plenty of space here.
So what have we achieved in this one, and can I now tick everything off the list? Getting rid of the mitre station has freed up loads of floor space, so much room for activities. Do we have more drawers? Yes, definitely. I now have 44 drawers in the workshop thanks to the addition of those two 15-drawer units, plus another 5 fitted elsewhere on this project, in addition to the 9 that I had already. And that's great because I love drawers, but are they the right size? Well, most of them are, but part of what I wanted to do on this project was to resize the top drawer in my outfeed workbench into 2 shallower ones because it's much deeper than it needs to be, which isn't ideal for the type of tools that I'm storing in there. It makes things difficult to find, but I'll be honest, I've run out of steam on this reorganization project at this point. I just want to do something else. So that's going to have to wait until another day. Have I now managed to set up my planer thicknesser permanently? Well, yes and no. I've not hooked up the dust extraction yet, but there's a good reason for that. I'm looking to upgrade this machine, which is the last item on my to-do list, and that'll be covered in a future video. I did manage to reorganize all my wall storage though. There's a lot less stuff on the walls now and it feels a lot less cluttered. However, I do still have thousands of holes to fill and the walls could use a fresh coat of paint. And by moving my parallel clamps to where my lathe used to be, I've increased my table saw infeed and outfeed space so that I can now cut over 2.4 meter lengths, which is what I was aiming to achieve, so that's awesome. I've also positioned the table saw in a way so that I will only ever need to move it in this direction if I need to use the router table or if I need to cut something particularly large, and then back again. In the past I was moving it backwards and forwards, left and right, all over the place, and now I don't have to do that. Do I have a new wood turning station? No, and that's because I've decided to downsize my lathe. Video about that coming soon too. I have, however, managed to get my bench grinder much closer to where my lathe will be, which is great because I use it mostly for sharpening my turning chisels, and now I don't have to walk to the other end of the workshop each time I want to put a fresh edge on a tool. I also managed to get my air compressor much closer to my workshop door, which is convenient for pumping up our car tyres. And I've run my main hose for the workshop up here and then over here, just so that when I'm using it for spraying in the workshop, it's not just going to be dragged around the floor. Is the workshop now more green? Yes, definitely. My new dust containment unit has been working brilliantly too, but I am going to be doing a follow-up on that maybe in the next vlog video or something, as I think I can make some improvements to it. So for now, I'm done with moving things around, but please stay tuned for the follow-ups on the new lathe and the new planer thicknesser. Thanks for watching.